Welcome, everyone. We are going to be talking about how opportunity meets preparation, why both are key, super important, and when combined, Wally, what does that equal?
Luck.
Luck. Exactly right. Welcome to the Knowledge Boner podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Starr. Co-host Wally Wynn is here, as always, dropping bombs of knowledge for you guys today. And I'm gonna hand it over to Wally. He kind of came up with the topic today. He brought up some good points about what's going on in our business, and I'll let you take it from here, bud.
All right, sweet. Yeah, guys. Just give you the quick kind of rundown what's kind of going on in me and Dylan's businesses right now. As we kind of talked about at the beginning of the podcast, and then sometimes before in the last few weeks, we've been hitting kind of momentum in our businesses. So we're trying to see, or well, one, we're kind of trying to, we're not trying, but we're seeing the results of our efforts that we've put in. So what do I mean by that? So for example, right? Like I have a client, or I have two clients that I work with, like pretty heavy, right? And these two clients, when I first started working with them, I just showed them that I could give them value and that kind of stuff. So then obviously they reciprocated by wanting to pay me for my work. But what I've done now is been able to show them that I can provide them with so much more value that they have decided to give me equity stakes in the different businesses ventures that we're actually going for, and that's like really unheard of. Most times people who are successful, that kind of stuff, like they pay people to build stuff, but they don't give away equity in the things that they're building.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a very interesting situation that I'm in. And for Dylan over here, Dylan is sales star boy supreme, and he showed value in the groups that he's in. So he took a course, that kind of stuff, networked with some of the people, and basically got out of a situation where he got to show off his skills and fucking blew their faces away. So now he is like leading a sales team in in a matter of how long has it been, Dylan?
Since we started, I mean, we're on going into week 3 now. Week 3.
Okay, yeah. So boom, look at that. Now leading a sales team because why? Because why? Because Dylan was over prepared for the situation that put him in. So before he even had a chance to make money, before he even had a chance to start becoming successful, he was like, you know what? I need to put in the time and hours. I've got to study. I've got to be good at this stuff because when the time comes for me to actually show it off, or to be in that situation where I've got to perform, I need to be able to do it. And that's what he did. And that's where we start today's topic. Boom.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's maybe people kind of heard it as like a cliche, but luck. You create your own luck, and the more action you're taking, the more opportunity is going to be available, right? And then you're just it's kind of, I don't know, it's interesting. Like sometimes opportunity comes and you're not prepared, right? Like sometimes you're just not prepared for when opportunity comes, and it's going to come at times that happens, right? I mean, you're not ready to make those jumps sometimes in your business, or something big may happen where you're just like, oh man, this is going to take a lot of time, but I know I have to do it. Like in that sense, you're not prepared for it, but at the same time, like it's still an opportunity. So it's kind of like this weird conundrum of like you're preparing yourself and you're gaining knowledge, right? And then an opportunity comes, but sometimes it's so big that you're not prepared for it, but you adapt, right? In reality, none of us are ever prepared for what life throws at us, right? You have no choice but to adapt. But if you're at least preparing yourself in the sense of skills and mindset and business as a whole, and actively taking action to seek opportunities, then you're going to run into a great situation that you're not prepared for that's going to help you grow. So if you're prepared for everything, of course you can't grow, right? So it's just this weird cycle. What do you
So what would you say? What would you say, Dylan, to somebody? I'm sure you have friends like this. I know I do. But somebody that would say, you know what, man, there's no opportunities out there. I have no idea. There's no room to make money. All the rich people just get rich, and the poor people get poorer. What would you say to that person?
you're fucking broke. You're saying that because you're broke. I mean, I mean, it's the wrong mindset. Like you're saying that because of your own situation. You're salty that other people are doing better than you. But what you don't realize is those other people are doing better than you is because they changed their mindset. They had a positive attitude. They went out, they took action, and they made the decision to change their situation. Like that's what it comes down to, is they decided. Like it wasn't fate, it wasn't luck out of nowhere. They physically made the decision. I'm tired of being broken poor. I'm tired of thinking this way. Obviously wealthy people are doing something I'm not, and I need to go out and get knowledge. I need to change the way I'm thinking. I need to be more positive. I need to see what kind of action I have to take to get out of the situation. And it all starts with the decision, and it all starts with choice. So once you make that decision, more opportunities will come, because what's going to happen is you're going to be like, there's no opportunity. And the only thing holding you back is the way you're thinking. But all of a sudden, once you start getting knowledge, then you have the opposite problem. You're like, oh shit, there's way too many opportunities. Like, which one do I do? Right. And it happens.
Yep. Super. And that's the freaking, and that's the shiny object syndrome that a lot of people talk about, right? It's like finally when you realize, oh my gosh, there's so many opportunities out there. That's the shiny object syndrome that people like entrepreneurs get stuck in right there, that everybody talks
exactly
about. Is that moment when you're like, oh shit.
So you're paralyzed both ways. Like a lot of you listening right now, like maybe you do have, I'm going to say what it is. You have a shit fucking mindset. Like it's not your boss. It's not your loved ones. It's not fucking Trump. It's not the government. It's not your city. It's not your state. It's you. Your mindset sucks dick. You're in this position because you brought yourself in this position. The only person you have to blame is yourself. And right now you're thinking there's no opportunity, so you're stuck. Well, you're going to go out. If you make the decision now to change, then you're going to realize, oh shit, there's a lot of opportunities. And then guess what? You're going to be stuck because you don't know which one to go after. So that's when kind of being focused, asking yourself, we talked about this in previous episodes where Wally just kind of told a story about his older brother, and kind of understanding like what it is that you want and why you're doing what you're doing. That's when you have to have that conversation, when you realize that there are opportunities, right? Which ones do you go after and which ones do you focus on? Because if you fall into the trap like Wally's talking about with shiny object syndrome, then you're not going to get any progress. You're just going to be taking opportunity after opportunity, which is okay in the beginning, right? If you're undecided and you don't know what you're passionate about, I'm one of the first advocates and believers in testing multiple things. Like, try an industry out, try something else out, like test a bunch of things and then see which ones you like. The ones you like, stick with it. And if you find you're passionate for it, then make that your focus and drop the others, right? Gary Vee talks about this all the time. Just go and test things. I mean, you can do it with jobs, right? If you don't know what kind of job you want to do, and maybe you have no desire to be an entrepreneur, but you hate your job, like there's nothing wrong with going and applying. I mean, I do it all. I did it all the time. You guys are just worried about what people will think, right? You get a job and you're like, okay, well, even if I hate this, I have to stick with this because, I'm committed. That's the whole purpose of me being here. And it's not like that. You can go to a job and realize within the first 24 to 48 hours that fuck my life, this is going to suck. And you do not have to stay at it. There will be more shit jobs that you can go and try to figure out. Opportunities.
Oh yeah. I can tell a story right here just for a moment. So this is like back in the days, and Dylan doesn't even know this story, but actually I back in the day when I was in college, and if you guys go back to episode 2, you can hear about the stories, but this is a different story. This is back when I was still trying to, do it, like get a job at work in a restaurant. Right. And I actually got a job interview at Carrabba's. Carrabba's,
yeah,
right?
Of course.
Yeah, that Italian place. Right. So I got a job at Carrabba's. And so you know how the servers and stuff work in there. Right. But get this, actually, I shadowed for 1 week in Carrabba's and hated it so much, in fact, that I just decided to not take the test and just kind of like leave to become a server. So yeah, you can definitely figure out what you don't like and what you like very, very quickly.
Yeah. And so guys, when it comes to opportunity, right, and we talk about luck, right, like the whole purpose of this is you create your own luck. What I mean by this is let's say you didn't care about business, you didn't care about entrepreneurship, you didn't want to be a millionaire, like you just want to be employed, you just lost your job, right? Which person's going to win, right? The person that just goes and applies for like 2 jobs, and then one says, okay, cool, we'll get back with you within 2 weeks, and they stop, right? They just wait to see what happens. Okay, great. Oh man, I didn't hear back from them. There's no opportunity. Then you have the other guy who is literally day after day after day hitting up 10 to 15 businesses, hearing the same thing. Oh, we'll hear back from you in 2 weeks, but still going and applying to other places. Which one do you think is going to win? Which one's going to get the opportunity? Which one has more options?
The guy who tried
exactly. Like,
oh wait, was that a rhetorical question?
It's either, whichever one. But no, congratulations, Wally. You won a prize. That is the correct answer. And
knowledge boner.
But and let's say out of opportunities, like he just lands like a whale of an opportunity, right? Like I fucking will. Like he's like, oh my God, I love this job. I can't believe how much money they're offering me. I can't believe what my hours are going to be, and I have flexibility with school or whatever it is. Like he created his own luck. Like that's what you guys have to understand, because he prepared and he took massive action and got himself available to more opportunity. And it's called having balls are going to drop, right? Like picture a juggler, right? And the best opportunity is going to be one of the balls. The more balls you throw up in the air, one of them is going to be you're going to get one, right? So it's just kind of a thing about no matter what, you're going to throw balls in the air, but the balls are going to drop, but you're going to catch the ball. So the more you toss, the better chance you have of catching one. And if that ball happens to be like something amazing, then it wasn't. Was it that you were just lucky? Or was it just because you just took massive action and you tossed a bunch of balls? And there's no correlation, guys, to the ball reference to boner on this podcast. I want to go ahead and clarify that. We could probably segue that in somehow in a clever way for our listeners, but no boner references in that scenario. I legitimately meant red balls being tossed in the air like a clown. But it is what it is. So,
no, I got you. So basically, what you're saying to chunk it down is like the more shit you throw at the wall, eventually one's gonna stick.
Yeah, of course.
But you got to find the one that sticks quickly though, and if it does stick, don't try to throw some more stuff. Stick to that thing.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that sticks, make sure you stick with it.
Yeah, I always love having the opportunity on this podcast as this grows to be able to interview successful people, right? And I love watching interviews. And the reason why I want to interview is because I love seeing interviews that ask really good questions. And it just kind of gives you perspective. Because I know if I talk to like an ultra fucking successful person, right, and everyone sees that success, I love being able to sit down and just break down everything they did and how long it took them. Because I guarantee you, a lot of these people you ask about, like you may think they're so lucky and how they get that opportunity, but if you really peel back the onion and break it down, some of them it's years, right? They'll tell you like, oh, like Kevin Hart talks about that shit in his interview. He's like, he doesn't really like 10 plus years, like it was like 10 or 11 years, 10 or 11 fucking years of trial and error to be able to get the gigs that he needed to be able to get to the point that he's at now. Right. So would you say that, and I'll tell you what, Kevin Hart's becoming a beast in business. Like the dude's fucking smart. Like he knows his shit. Like he's studying business. Don't let just the acting and the charisma, everything, they fool you. The dude's smart as shit. Loved his interview. And would you guys say that Kevin was lucky, or would you say that he created opportunity? Because I'm telling you, from hearing his story, he created opportunity. And that's what people need to realize is like, don't just rely on luck. Like if you guys want to win the Powerball, right, you can, but you better be willing to buy a shit ton of tickets. I mean, the numbers are the numbers, right? There's no getting around it. So unless you have like the capital to cancel it out, I mean, I guess technically with the last, it was like a record $1.6 billion, which has never been that high before. I think technically if you were like a multi-millionaire, you could have bought every possible scenario and combination. But I think after taxes, you pretty much would have just broken even.
You broke it even. Exactly. Yep.
So
that's exactly in my head what I was thinking, is you're going to break even.
But what's funny is if it ever does, I'd be curious about that. Well, if it ever does break even, I would, just to prove a point one day, if it's ever like $5 billion, I would literally go to like my attorney and my accountant and be like, hey, look, okay, if I win this after taxes, what's my takeaway? And then be like, okay. And I would sit there, I would buy every single possible outcome where I'm guaranteed to win. And then I was like, oh my God, he's so lucky, he won the 5 billion. I'd be like, nope, nope, I had way more opportunity than you did. I did not get lucky. I was able to put up the numbers that were needed in order to make this happen.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of, it's kind of, to kind of wrap up just for a second, it's kind of interesting. I kind of take it from that last thing you said right there. And, you said, I put the numbers up to make this happen.
Yep.
Right. And that's kind of the biggest takeaway for me is when it comes to that is anybody who's successful, anybody I've ever met, they always make statements that are so resolute like that. Meaning like, they like every time they say they were successful, like I made that happen. Like they're like, the reason that happened is because I did this and I went and did this. Like it's all factual, right? Because they took action. I think that's the most important thing is realizing that in order for you to get the opportunity you want, you're going to have to take action and do something about it.
Yeah. And I'll end with this. One of my favorite phrases that I've seen is the faster you stop talking and more doing, and the faster you start doing, then the quicker you're going to get to your result. So whatever it is you guys want to do and you're passionate about, like don't talk about it, just do it. Like don't talk about it, like no one cares, just do it. So take action, you'll create your own luck, and that's what it's all about. And so thank you so much, guys, for tuning in on this Thursday. Let me say it again, Thursday. Got my days right. Had my shit mixed up from yesterday. So I corrected it. It is Thursday. And tomorrow's Rant Friday. Gosh, Wally, what do you want to rant about tomorrow?
I want to rant about some of these, I guess I'm gonna call them wannabes. I'm gonna call you wannabes, but that's not necessarily what I mean. It's just that you don't have experience yet, and that's what I'm going to speak to. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at that.
Awesome. Well, yeah. So you guys definitely tune in tomorrow for Rant Friday. I'm excited for this. We're going to let Wally go on a tangent about all the wannabes out there and let him vent to you guys his loyal shoulder to cry on. So let him get it out of his system. Super pumped for this. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, make sure you're following us on Instagram. You can find Wally at Wally_the robot. You can find me at Dylan Starr, STARR official. And we will catch you guys tomorrow for Rant Friday to discuss wannabes. Later, guys.